Hey,
I was like,
we're
what is
here.
on my
Yay.
screen? It's that.
That'll happen.
We got the new skateboard tonight.
New
I
skateboard, I
don't know where
see.
the old. Yeah, I don't know where the other one went. And we'll put the Kia
There we
Stinger up
are.
there. It's kind of cool. Don't see that very often.
Nope. Joseph, how are you, sir? We have somebody in the room. Hey, people still like to watch us. Mr. Hunter, how are you? How's your mom? Hope everything's going well. We're gonna open mic it tonight because I don't have anything really off the wall crazy to talk about. I mean, Troy, how are you? Obviously, the $64,000 question. Hey, Evan, how are you? Thanks for joining in on YouTube land. I think the big question for the night is, did we get our tickets? The answer is we're still waiting.
Yeah. Hopefully we get our names picked. That would be awesomeness if we can. That's for sure. If we can't go, that's gonna be a bummer. But we'll just have to play it by ear and see what happens. Let's see
Brian,
here.
how are
Let's go
you?
ahead and do.
I know someone from the Kansas group got theirs. So that from one of the Kansas groups. Morning. Oh, it might be your morning. I don't know if you work overnights or not. But yeah, I think that's the big question. And what's surprising me with all of this is I think Ken was the first one that I saw that actually put his ticket number because I was like, well, how far along are they?
Yeah, and seeing that we're almost to 700, it's like, but then again, that's 699 that haven't been shown yet. So we just have to keep your fingers crossed and hope for the best. So
Yes, Joseph, it is.
interesting is one word to use, not the word I would use, but it is definitely interesting. So
Is the most is definitely the most different way that it's been done that I could remember.
I would agree with
Um,
that. I know. I was like, why am I washed out tonight? And I know
hey
why it is.
Jim, hey James, hey. Um, it's hard to say. Um, Miss Deborah Lynn Payne is in the house. It's definitely different, and I don't know. It's not good, not bad. It's just different, and my anxiety
That's a little
level
better.
is probably higher than it's ever been. Just waiting to hopefully get our ticket pulled.
Yeah.
My thing is we've done up until this point we have done everything that we can control, which is we send off for the ticket. You know,
Yep.
that's
So now we wait.
I don't know what you think, but I'm
Uh,
seconds to have your.
it's just comes down to a keep your fingers crossed kind of thing. It's like if we get picked, we get picked. If we don't, we don't. There's nothing we can do about it. Um, if we do not get the email nod, then the next thing we have to do is try to get tickets on Saturday, which I'm hoping we find out if we get tickets or not before then. That's the weirdest part is you don't know if you've got tickets, and we don't know if we'll know obviously when they'll send an email update out saying whether or not that we're running behind, so it's going to take we're going to push the sale back till next weekend, which they could do. You know, it's going to depend on whether or not we get the nod or if we see on the collectors events unlimited page that all emails have been sent out. If you did not receive one, you are not guaranteed a ticket right now. So it's just something we have to wait and hope for the best. So
I know I'm the way I'm looking at it is we have until the time of the online or the online sale on Saturday to hear back. But here's the other thing too to consider. they are 2 hours behind us. But my thing is like, it seemed there would be a bigger burst of names or numbers coming out, and just seems to be a slow, methodic pace to it, which I think is kind of cool and doing their due diligence to make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, whatever you want to say there.
Right.
On that. That's my thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with you on that.
What say you all out in Facebook and YouTube? What do you guys think about it as far as how things are being handled? I think they're being handled as fair as possible.
I would agree. Yeah. I'd like to know what everybody else is thinking.
Yeah, me too.
Class.
So go ahead, pop in with your comments. We'll play with our little toy cars or talk about something else while we wait for those.
I'm always playing with something around here, it seems like. I just have too many toys around me that I can play with. So
Joseph, obviously, he's thinking it's equitable. Yeah. It's just the anxiety. This is worse than an RLC.
Oh, hands down, way worse than an RLC, because we don't know, with an RLC, in a matter of 30, 40 minutes, either you didn't or you get it, it's one or the other. You got it or you didn't. This has been going on now for how many weeks? I think the irony of a lot of people from Ohio getting tickets is funny. So yeah, and that is interesting.
But there's some truth to that, though. I mean, it is old in Ohio. You would like to think that you'd have a lot of local support, but I think a lot of those people that are going have been to previous nationals too. So it is quinky dink, but I don't think it's deliberate.
Yeah. At least, we hope not.
Yeah, and Evan, I think there's something to that too. Like I said, they stopped rolling out around maybe 10 o'clock our time, which would make it about 8 o'clock out there, maybe even 9 o'clock. They're going as fast as they can. I think that over 2/3 of the way done based off of the number I'm seeing, or at least that's being revealed by people. And that's another thing too, is like in past nationals, everybody's out, I got number 123 or 425. There's not a lot of that going on.
No. Okay. And there's not even a lot of people that are actually even showing or saying what their numbers are. And so there's that aspect of it too, where it's quiet. We're not seeing a lot of people posting anything like that. So I'm gonna check.
I think Mr. Hunter makes I get the gist of what he's.
Yeah, and it does, and that's something that we have to consider as well. I've been to a few now. Kent obviously has me beat. He's got a couple that I don't have. But it's a fun time. There's no other way to put it. It's, say you're at a party or something and you're talking Hot Wheels with somebody that you meet at the party. It's an interesting conversation for maybe about 10 to 15 minutes, and then you go on to something else. So imagine you're at a party that lasts almost an entire week, and you get to talk Hot Wheels all the time. It's like nothing. If you've never gone to a convention, not even national, just if you've never been to a convention in general, when you can sit and talk Hot Wheels for a week solid, and you can show off your finds, because you find things all the time. I mean, you can literally go into one room 12 times, 13 times, and you'll find something new in that room every time, because just like a toy show, the more they sell, the more they bring out. So if they're having a good sale month or week, I mean, new stuff's going to keep popping up. So you can, like I said, you can go into that same room 13, 14 times, and there's going to be something new in it almost every time. So you get to show off, what you found all the time. I mean, I was in this room, man, I missed this week. I missed it 3 days prior, or, if your friends are looking for something and you see it, you can be like, hey, man, I got this over here in this room. You want me to grab it for you? Or if it's expensive, you can say, hey, this car's up here, come get it, if you want it still, and they can come up and look for it. And that's a really cool thing about it is when you go just by yourself and say you don't know anyone, which you won't know anyone for about the first 20 minutes. When I went to LA in 18, I met two guys and their kid, or it was two brothers and one of their sons on the shuttle from the airport to the hotel. And every year since that I see them, it's, hey man, how you been? Like we talk like, like we've known each other for years. And I keep saying that I don't even know their names. And I hate to say that, but I'm horrible with names. So it does happen. But, you meet friends, lifelong friends really quick. So.
Yeah. I mean, you were talking about going multiple times and then finding stuff. I think that happened with me when I was trying to hunt down the last few Zamax. But the thing that sticks out to me the most about, there's that. It's the late night, hey, we're bored, let's just walk around, and then you find something sitting in the back corner of a room somewhere, and you look at somebody and you go, is that what I? And we're like, yep, it is.
Time to make a phone call.
Deliver it to somebody. Then getting to deliver it to someone was even more cool. It's things like that, made a friend literally in the smoke pit in LA, and it was an accident. I mean, that's how I got to really know Scott Orloff, because Greg hooked me up with two cars and was just looking at them, and he decided not to grab them, and then Greg grabbed them for me, but we split. And, I let Scott pick what he wanted, and he was happy. Uh-oh. I'm good.
Just sneezing. I'm good.
Yeah, right, Evan. There's something new in Walmart every day. I don't know what, but something.
Yeah. And when you go to Walmart, you're getting all the new stuff. That's just it. It's the newest stuff that's coming out. When you walk into a room, there could be $500,000 worth of red lines in one room. And then you can go to a next room and there might be $1,000 cars. So it just kind of depends on where you end up and which room you happen to walk into for that day. I mean, it changes all the time. And that's what's really neat about it is you never know what's going to be in that room that you were in an hour earlier. So.
Yeah, I was always told, it's just grail car after grail car after grail car. And it's not really, because you find out that you like something and you didn't even know you liked it. I mean, I still remember those 4 police cars, from the Bob Hope thing. Remember us going off about those?
Yep.
Rodney, how are you?
What up, Rodney? And one of the favorite things is, one of the cars that I picked up at 18 in LA, I like there's the limousine. I just always liked the limousine, and I had seen a couple of limousines in this room, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a neat car. I've never seen that one before. And I think he was asking 2 for $5 or something like that, or they might have even been $1 a piece. I can't remember because it was an 18. So I was like, well, I'm going to pick up a couple of these because I kind of like them. And I had them in a box for years. And this summer when I was inventorying things, we came across them, and I was like, I still don't know anything about these. And I did a little research on my own, and I couldn't find anything on them. So I reached out to one of my many Hot Wheel contacts that I have, and I just asked him, I said, hey, do you know what this is? And, well, I asked two different people. The first one leaned, he goes, it might be a custom. I've never seen that one before. Whatever, it might be a custom. So I'm like, all right, cool. I appreciate the invite, the information. Well, then I emailed another one of my buddies, and I said, hey, do you happen to know anything about this? Took him 4 seconds. Those are Mexican release cars. And he goes, and they don't come up very often. What'd you pay for them? And I think I said $1.50 or something, or $2.50 or something like that. He goes, you got a heck of a deal, because that is a very hard to find limo that never comes up. So I ended up getting 2 Mexican release cars for nothing, or for next to nothing. And they're worth a whole lot of money, but that doesn't mean anything, like, Ken said, he was hunting for Zamax, and he just got lucky, it doesn't, a lot of the rooms will have all the newest, latest and greatest stuff in it. But when you can walk into a room and you're going, ooh, when you literally walk into a room and you just go, we gonna be in here for a minute, and you start digging through stuff, and they might have 40 or 50 jammers sitting on the floor, and you might just start digging through jammers, and that's one of my favorite things to do. And a lot of people lean away from that because they want those carded cars, and I understand that, but as you just wait till next week, because that space is almost ready for its live debut. So, and it's so pretty. But anyways, you can find the latest and greatest in almost every room. But when you walk into a room and see shelves and car cases and jammers full of mint black walls and just all sorts of stuff, Nick, you gotta have to wait. Maybe if you got nothing going on Saturday night, maybe you'll have to roll out. But you can find just the most random things. I know for a fact that I know a guy that picked up a couple of Thrill Driver cars for I think it was like 15 or 20 bucks for the pair. Yeah. And they were not in mint condition, but they were pretty decent cars, and they're worth like $100-something a piece. You can find the most random stuff at these things. So
I was very happy that night.
Now we're teaming up against me. No, we're not.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find the most random things at these shows. So you just got to keep your eyes open, and that's the hardest part. Because when you walk into a room and it's literally like, we'll use Mr. Joe Alvarado's room. Now, wear sunglasses if you're walking into Alvarado's room. Trust me, you're going to need them, because that man brings his own lighting, and it is like you're walking in like this, because he wants his customs to shine, as he should. They are amazing. And you'll walk into some rooms where you might be turning the flashlight on in the back of your phone just so you can see what's going on, because it depends on the hotel, and you won't know about that until you get there. When we were in LA in 2018, amazing light. Every room was bright and sunny. When we were in Atlanta, the rooms were still bright. They had great lighting. Everything was fine. Charlotte Hotel needed a little more lighting. But people went down to Walmart and were buying lights and bringing them in, and there was a lot of people that were walking around with flashlights. You make it work. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that we get to go to Columbus and we'll get to experience a whole nother level of nationals. So I'm excited. Hopefully everything will work out. And as Rodney stated, carded Mountain Dew Buick stock car would be an awesome find. I don't think I have a carded one of those. So.
Okay, so I just got a message that somebody got picked up in Minnesota, and they're in the mid 700s. So that's the other notice throughout this too. It seems like they're getting in regions, and that's the other pattern I've seen to go. There seem to be a lot of mid Ohio, the Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana type like areas, and then now today there seemed more east in the morning, more East Coast type people, and now you're starting. Hopefully, maybe some of the mid are going to start to get picked up, and I mean, I really am. Yes, I was not. I was not as anxious as I was, and now as I was 2 or 3 days ago about this whole process. Uh, Evan, that's a good point. It really is. I don't know how Mark and Jennifer. I mean, I don't think they are wanting to share that, which I think is well within their rights as the um, owners of the show. But again, I think they're trying to be as fair as to everybody, and
Yeah.
I think they want to see a wide variety of people from different areas, and people that have been there, that have gone for many times, and a bunch as well. So it's just the waiting game, and I feel like I'm one of those first 25 or so football players at the NFL draft in that back room at a table waiting for your name to get called, and you're Aaron Rodgers, and you slip from being like up at the top of the draft board to going all the way down at the bottom waiting to go in the first round. So it's been an experience, and we're just along for the ride. Man, I just don't know what to say right now.
Yeah, and that's just it, plain and simple. We are literally waiting, and as soon as I saw somebody post their numbers, before I even sent out a, hey, congratulations, I went to my email and looked, and there's nothing there, and that's just something we have to wait, we could check our emails every 5 minutes, and it may pop up, it may not, we don't know, and that's
Evan makes a great comment right there. Patience and Hot Wheel people do not go together.
No, we don't. Because I'm currently looking at my email right now.
Oh, I am too. But we'll circle back to this a little bit. But let's talk about this weekend. We do have some things going on this weekend.
Lincoln.
Yes, we've got that. It feels good to actually have a show again. We haven't had one in almost a month. Mr. Warshall, how are you? Thanks for popping in tonight.
You only get drafted once.
Well, yeah,
I'm looking forward to Lincoln this weekend. There's a couple of things I'm looking for. Whether or not I find them is yet to be seen, but I guarantee I'll come home with something, because it's just how it works, Whether or not you're looking for something or not, you'll find something. What up, Jeff? My speed's a little bit slower, but it's just the fun. Toy shows are great for our area because of the pure and simple fact that a lot of us don't live next to each other, and it's hard to sit down and be able to have a conversation with your friends that are in the Hot Wheel community, or family, as we like to call it around here. You may not see them all the time. I haven't seen Rodney since the last Lincoln show, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with Rodney this weekend. And I was talking to him on the phone tonight, and it felt good to have just have a simple conversation. It doesn't have to have anything to do with anything. So you just be able to talk to your friends and stuff that you know. And I, obviously me and Rodney go a little bit farther back. I've known Rodney for, we're not even going to throw that number out, but it's been a minute. So, but yeah, just getting to go and hang out with people and just be able to see what's going on. So the house next door to me is open. Just move. Sorry, Rick. I would, but I really like my house. Wait, what was that one? So if a group decided to go and half of them get chosen, the other half of them doesn't, then what? It'd be a bummer if I wanted to go with a group of people and I got drawn and they didn't. It would hinder the trip for sure. And you're not wrong, Kent. And there's, my ticket and Kent's ticket and a couple other tickets are all in one. So there's 4 in one box, and I'm throwing Kia Stingers around. And then there's another friend that, him and his wife are in one box. So yes, there is that possibility that they will get chosen and we will not, or the vice versa. But fingers crossed, fingers crossed that everybody gets to go. That's the only thing that we can do is hope and keep your fingers crossed. And, if you believe, say a prayer, do something to try to make it happen. Hopefully the Hot Wheel gods are looking down. Hopefully our karma is good in the Hot Wheels world and, we get to go. So that's all we can do. So yeah, that is a good point. But yeah, that was one thing that we did talk about is because originally we were going to do, Kent was going to do 1 ticket and then I was going to do 1 ticket because we were trying to bring friends with us. And when we found out that the possibility where 1 ticket may get pulled, the other one didn't, we had to change our strategy to the point where both of our names were in 1 envelope, because if he can't go and I get drawn, I don't have a roommate. I don't have someone to help pay for that room, which is not all I like you for. Don't worry. But DOP will be in Columbus, period. We've secured a room. You boys can hang with me. Well, thank you, Jeff. We appreciate that.
Appreciate that. I mean, I like hanging out with anybody.
I don't know how much sleep we're going to get in a week, but
sleep's overrated.
Yeah, found that out last night. I finished eating dinner and I passed out. And I woke up at 9:45 and I was like, I'm just going to go up and go to bed.
You guys got hit.
So, yeah. This is very true. I did see some sleep when you're dead. Exactly. Or sleep when you just accidentally fall asleep on the couch, because that's kind of what I've been doing.
As far as getting split up, there's a good possibility that they get to and it has 2 people in there and they only have enough for 1 ticket. That would be unfortunate too. They're doing 900 tickets. So, well, we will provide the positive vibes as long as we get a chance to go. That's the other thing is we don't want to abuse, I guess, the rules. Yeah, I hope he had pants on.
I did.
Huh? Evan says he sees what you're gonna rip.
What? How?
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, you want to see what I'm gonna rip?
I don't know.
Well, I will give you a sneak peek.
Catch me if you can. As far as Lincoln goes, it's people there. Good chance we'll get to see some folks we haven't seen in a while. I know Rich will be there. Mm-hmm. There's such a good variety of cars too. Brad had a great selection he picked up the other day, or a couple, maybe a month and a half ago. And it's been toured through like you wouldn't believe. I mean, I picked some stuff out of it. Other things that go on. The other thing I wanted to make mention is that after the show, when we go have dinner, anybody is invited to go to that. You know, we want to hang out with folks. We will eat dinner with you. Yeah, that's because Parker's home and he's out playing video games. And even with the Wi-Fi booster on, it's still not helping. So I blame the boy.
And I'm in the bomb shelter practically in the middle of rural Nebraska. And I don't have a Wi-Fi booster. And I'm doing all right, I think. And yes, Kent, I was very close. Second place in the Hardy Adams. And that would have been cool. I'm thinking he forgot a word there.
He can't Wi-Fi when he's he can't Wi-Fi and be on his video games. It doesn't work.
He should just take an hour and eat some dinner or something.
Oh, you're requested to rip. So are we ripping early tonight? Well, I'll rip a car early.
I only got the one down here. I got more upstairs, but I only got one down here.
Well, since Mr. Warshall is in here.
Oh, a little black wall.
This was one off of his auction, but it's through another person who's actually local. So we'll rip the Mustang tonight. Collector number 162, blue card 65 Mustang convertible in red, darker shade of red. And I thought I had the lighter one already, and I don't have either. So this is a brand new one to add. So again, nice. Thank you, Mr. Warshall and Mr. Brian from Omaha. If we ever hang out in that basement again, I highly recommend we do.
Yes. All right. Well, since we're being asked so nicely, and he needs to go to bed so he can get up and get that 8 hours of sleep so he can go do some basketball. Oops. I think that's what it said. Was basketball? Was it basketball? Yes, yeah. Basketball. So we got to help these kids out. So I'm going to rip the green light, Catch Me If You Can, 1964 Chevelle SS with a twist. We going full-blown green machine tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And this one is numbered. It is number 4968. Now, yeah, I'm going to talk about that here in a second, too. So, since these are in clamshells, these do not come open easy. So we're going to get the old school Huber box cutter, because I don't have a trusty hunting fishing knife. So we're just going to do that. And just go ahead and open this up here, because I don't want to end up in the hospital. So we're going to do it carefully. It's not really, I guess we're ripping it there. And there we go. We have a straight up green machine, green engine, green wheels. Gorgeous green machine Chevelle. And this one is going over there on the wall. But since Mr. Hot Wheel Hunter has brought it up.
Yes, you need to get into that.
I'm going to get into something really quick because, as you may or may not know, we've been picking on Kent for quite a while about his constant rearranging of his rooms. Well, I've already personally apologized to Mr. Kent, but I'm actually going to go ahead and do it again. That I'm going to say that plain and simple, I will never mess with him again. And I don't think anybody else should, because when you have almost 2,000 holes on the wall over there and you're going through a box of loose cars and you're like, oh, I want to put this one next to this one. And then you start moving things around and then you go full on squirrel mode and you start just moving everything. So like I said, I've apologized to him privately and I'm going to do it again. I'm sorry, Kent. I will never mess with you for your room rearranging ever again. Because I'm going to be doing it I've already done it 15 times. So trust me. And yes, it happens. So, but yeah, I probably still will tweak with them a little bit, but I now understand the torture that goes through when you're putting cars on the wall for display. And when this one goes on the wall, there will be a car that has to come off the wall for this one to go in there. So I understand completely. So, it is what it is. And thanks, Evan. I appreciate it. Yeah, I won't mess with him again. And I hope that nobody else messes with him either, because you put them up on the walls and you only get X amount of spots, you're going to be thinking twice. Well, do I really want this one up there? And you're going to be figuring that out. So that's just the way it goes.
The other thing I was going to say is that we learned is that the best and the only way to do this is by casting, because
yes,
God, you'll go crazy. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now, and that's where it's got to stay. I've built a little room, but as soon as I like this Mustang is just getting thrown into the other two will have homes for right now.
You know, and that's just it, Kent. You know, there's 3 different Mustangs,
all from the same.
You know,
subset.
they're all the same series, but they're all 3 different. All 3 of these would have to go on the wall. So that's 3 cars. You got to find somewhere to put them. And when you only have X amount of space now, and granted, Ken has more space than I do. I think it's pretty close. We're pretty even, but yeah, it's a struggle. And like I said, when this one goes up, one will have to come down. And every car that I open from here on out, same problem is going to happen. You know, if I want to display something, I'm going to have to take something down off the walls. Granted, I still have 2 cases to put up, but one of the series is going in there and there's over 100 and something of those cars. So just do colors. No, you don't want to do that, Hot Wheel Hunter, because the pure and simple that
I've done that.
You already start to notice things when you're putting cars up randomly, like I was doing. You start going, I got a lot of green over there. Let's move it over here. You know, you try to spread it out. And with the LED lighting that I have down here in my basement, it is basically what I was trying to do with some of the cars that had like really, really killer paint jobs was try to, that's pretty. Try to keep those paint jobs on display. You know, that one really, really pops. Are those Carney cases you're putting up? No, they are not, Joseph. They are cases that me and a friend of mine built. I have a total of 9 of them, and they hold, it's going to be close to 2,000 loose cars on the wall. I'll take the Mustangs off your hands. Nope. So what do we got up here on the wall?
Okay,
up here on we got a little Braxton car, I see.
Well, yes, and I believe this is the first Braxton car. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but this is
that's the first one. Because mine's right there.
This is one of the items that's going to be in the silent auction this week, or not this weekend, but in
a couple weeks.
In a couple of weeks. So
we should almost talk about that
doing
in a couple
that. Of weeks. Yes, but I wanted to get it out there. I wanted to just try and get some more oomph to it. This is one of the kids' prizes. There'll also be a 9-pack. I just don't have it available. Here's one of the other prizes that's going to be available. This is another silent auction that we're doing. This one is pretty cool. This is one of the chapter cars that we got in LA thanks to Miss Deb. And she is
that's cool. I haven't
got
seen that yet.
for us.
That is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen that yet. That's sharp.
Yep. I can't remember which club did it, but I think they were from Arizona. This is number 54 of 100. So we'll have that one available. There's going to be a couple other RLC cars, I think, floating around there as well. So for all you guys that are thinking about coming to the show, please do. I don't know if it was Warlords or not. Warlords disbanded, correct?
They stopped doing the war games. I don't know if they've disbanded or not. That I don't know. It's not my club, so I can't 100% speak on what's going on their end of the planet. So But I was bummed that I heard that they were stopping with the war games, because the war games were a lot of fun. If you never got a chance to do that, I I can honestly say that I did get to watch it, but I did not get to participate because I had missed it.
Yeah. So we do, like I said, we do have a couple other things we're going to throw up out there. The main thing is we're trying to get folks get hyped up for this. This is again one of the first times we've been in back in Omaha since pre-COVID. There seems to be a lot of interest. We have plenty of tables available. We're right around 27, unless Miss Deb has a new update that she hasn't given us. So, come hang out. I know it's the same day as the Lincoln Toy and Buckle Show, but you make it down to that, come back to see us, or come see us and go see them. The weather, the weather's the weather.
Hopefully we'll be good.
We can't really control that, but if the suits, you're only 2 hours away if the roads are holding up. But let's get back into more funny stories and things about convention. I know we've heard
what do you want to know?
We've heard the Gasser story. I don't know how many times.
Yeah,
it's still funny.
We've heard the A1 story.
I'm
trying to think. Go ahead.
The big thing that I like about convention is the camaraderie that comes with it, and special things that happen when you least expect them. I became a closer friend with somebody from Iowa, all because that person wanted to ask a question of me. And about came unglued when I did it, when it got asked. And it wasn't a bad thing. It's just my gut reaction to it was like, okay, yeah, we're going to go talk about this.
Yeah. So I got a fun one.
Go.
We've only gotten to take part in it once. I want to go to the night races again this year, hopefully, because I tell you what, there is nothing you will not laugh nearly as hard as you think racing Hot Wheels down a 50-foot track, and you think, oh, it's a 50-foot track. Down a set of stairs, we had this thing like jerry-rigged, like wedged into the railings as it was going down. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but if you pick up an old Chevy Stalker with the metal body and the metal base, and you throw that thing down a 50-foot track and try to stop it, that thing will dang near break a finger if it stays on the track. And and the neat thing is the guys that put on a lot of those events normally bring special cars. And the guy that put this one on, he had everything in baggies, and it said Night Race, Charlotte 2022, and he had a big box of cars, and you got to go through and pick out a couple cars to race. And one of them that I picked out, and it's in my private collection, and it'll stay that way. It is a black Camaro. And what I noticed right away when I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm picking that one, because it's a Toys R Us exclusive Camaro, for one, and for two, it was a night race car. So it may or may not have a chip or two in it now, but you know what? I don't care, because he took a Sharpie it was either a silver paint pen or a silver Sharpie, and he wrote Night Race 2022 on the top of it. So that car will always be known as a night race car. And I have all the ones that I bought for that race that are still in my private collection as well, because of the pure and simple fact that they were night race cars. And to me, that means something. And one thing I can honestly tell you, do not bring an FTE to a night race, because they will boo you and kick you out with that car. I don't know. I heard that rumor, at least. But, as Nick said, that was an amazing night. It is, because there's nothing funnier than a bunch of grown adults throwing Hot Wheels down a 50-foot racetrack and you normally start around midnight. So there may be an adult beverage or two. It's just a good time. What are you doing with that? You better take that off camera for somebody starts saying you can't do something, then you'll end up doing it. You need to wait, because if the other one is in worse shape, then so unfortunately we have to
that's
wait.
Why
that one.
Gotta wait for
maybe
that
next
one.
week. I really like this new green.
Maybe
this thing is sharp.
So the pizza nights are always great too. Getting to hang out with folks and just being accessible to other people. Yeah, and it's just random things like running into people like Julian or Jimmy Lou in the hall, and they're like, "Oh, hey, here you go," handing out cards, and things like that. That's what I like about convention. It's the people. It's just okay, well, we're screwing around waiting to go to dinner, and hey, I got a box of red lines here. You want to look at those? $200 later, you end up with a near perfect charger
that other people wanted.
It's things. Yes. The smoke area is really where everything happens at. I mean, this is where things get discussed.
Deals are made.
Deals are made. Red lines get opened.
Yes, this is true. And basically, I can sum up the smoke pit for you pretty much in an easy statement. Imagine, and not everybody that goes out there is a smoker. You don't have to be a smoker to go to the smoke pit. But the people that are at the smoke pit are some of the most well-known, well-respected, intelligent people in the hobby at those national levels. And exactly, it's a high traffic area. Goodness. And that's a great way to sum it up, because when you have, we'll throw an even number out there. Say there's 100 people out there and you're friends with all of them in one way or another, and they know you're looking for a certain car. Now you have 100 sets of eyeballs looking for that car for you. Where I'm still looking, I was looking for a set of really small Real Rider wheels for a project that I have, a restoration project I'm working on. And a good buddy of mine goes, "Hey, this guy up here, he's got a whole bunch of Real Riders and they're really decently cheap. So go check it out." He shoots me a room number and I'm off to the races. As Kent said, there's a lot of guys that collect red lines down there, and if they're not selling out of the room, they might be just walking around with a jammer. And being that there's red line guys there, it's like, "Hey, you want to check it look?" And Kent, kind of a red line guy, kind of just getting into it, but our really good buddies are huge red line guys. And when you can go through it and be like, "What are you asking for this one?" And he tells you how much, and then you look and say, "Hey, is that a good deal?" And he goes, "If you don't buy it, I'm gonna." Okay, well, I'm gonna buy it, or hey, here's a good story. We were out at the smoke pit in Charlotte, and somebody found a backpack laying on the ground, and they opened this backpack up, and was it 3 or was it 4? Couldn't remember how many there was in there.
It's about 30
There was 4. There was, I don't know if it was 30, but there was definitely at least 6. There was 4 candy stripers in this bag. All different numbers, all legit. Someone had left $6,000+ worth of cars on the ground, and one of our friends found it, picked it up, opened the bag, saw what was in it, and knew exactly that this is an expensive bag. Somebody's going to come looking for it. So what they did is they took that bag right inside, and they went and found Mark and Jennifer's staff, and they said, "Hey, we just found this out here. This is what's in it. You need to protect this until they can be found." And once the backpack had left the area, somebody came running out in a panic, and they went and said, "Hey, it just got delivered to one of the staff members. Go find them, and they'll get you hooked up." And he was able to go in, tell him what was in that bag, and he got his bag back. Nothing was lost, nothing was stolen, nothing was damaged. That's
Nothing
the
was
kind of
said about
community
it.
that this is. Nothing. It got handled. There was a thank yous, were exchanged, and that was the end of it. But you're walking down the street and see $6,000 laying on the ground with nobody around. What are you gonna do? That's the neat thing about the smoke pit is everybody knows what the right thing is to do. And that's what makes it so amazing. And like I said, you'll have everybody out there from a novice person that just kind of stands off to the side and listens to some of the most respected people in the hobby. And it's fun because you can sit there and talk with someone who's new, and you can sit there and talk with someone who's been around this hobby and does amazing things for it, whether behind the scenes or in front of the cameras. It doesn't matter. We're all friends. It's a great place. If you ever get a chance, plain and simple, just like I said earlier, hopefully the Hot Wheel gods are looking down and we get to go to nationals. So, but yeah, it's a great time because you never know who you're going to run into. You never know what you're going to find. And, like I said, you make friends, not just from your local area, but I have friends in Japan. I have friends in Germany and almost every state of the, of the United States. I've got a couple in Mexico. I mean, I've got friends everywhere that I never would have met if I hadn't gone to a nationals or LA. So it's a good chance if you ever get a chance to go.
Or sitting in a mall. Just
is he sitting in a mall eating lunch?
He join you? Yeah, you bet. And that's how we met Izzy.
Exactly.
We have
yes, great.
Got to have lunch again or dinner sometime with him and his lovely wife, and go do that again. But I mean, that's what this is. This is just. I'm excited for it. I'm very pumped for it, but yet I am very nervous, and I keep looking for that red dot to show up in my email to say I got a new one, and it hasn't shown up yet. So
neither is
if
mine.
You hold out the fact that we it'd be really nice if it showed up while we're on air. Please,
I know. That's kind of why I'm looking.
Please, the karma of this.
It's going to happen, right? As soon as we log off. And if that happens, we will come back live.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a good time. And, hopefully we get to go, and we'll hopefully find out here in a few hours, but it might be until Saturday. They might make a post saying, hey, everything's already out. If you didn't get an email, sorry. We don't know what's going to happen. It's literally just rolling the dice, fingers crossed, hope for the best. So we do what we do. We sit and wait.
Since we're sitting and waiting. Hey, is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
Yes, I've been rambling pretty much most of the night.
Well, I'm going to open up another DI. Very gorgeous car. Into the trash that shall go. And there it is. There's the BMW. I now think
what wheels that we got on it?
This is the Crons. I have the coal mold. I have the ultra hot in this paint style. I believe there is a black wall for this as well. I do not have all the 850s, but I'm getting closer. I just saw it was a really good deal on it, and I couldn't pass it up. Yes, it was an 850i. Probably my favorite BMW of all time.
It's a good one.
Yeah, definitely. The 850i is my all-time favorite BMW, or a Ferrari 308 if I would be my all-time favorite Ferrari, which they're surprisingly cheap. But yeah, that's it. It's finding the cars you want in places you don't expect them to. And of course, finding cars you want and just saying, "Oh, it'll wait."
And Rodney, just
wrong.
shoot me a message and let me know what size, and we can make sure that we bring that hoodie for you this weekend.
Oh yeah, hoodies are more than available. We'll bring them.
We can bring them all, or we can
bring
just
those as well. Bring whatever. Like I said, we'll probably have dinner again. If now, you're more than welcome to. It's an open invitation to everyone. Why can't we get an email, please? All right, I'm sounding desperate. All right, I don't really have anything else. Do you have anything else?
I mean, I have other stuff, but I don't know. Are you talking like information wise, or no? I think I've about rambled enough. I think I've rambled enough tonight. I think I'm gonna go ahead and quit. I'm looking for something else to rip open, but everything's upstairs that I want to rip because they didn't bring everything downstairs, and I'm afraid to open things because I don't know where it's gonna go.
Should I rip this? Should I? Okay.
No, you have to wait for the other one to come in.
No.
What if the other one's bent in half?
That's true, but I do have a third one. Yeah, I do.
Are they numbered?
No, they're not numbered. It's pretty.
Well, I mean,
it's small numbers, quick. All right. Yeah. So this is probably
there's an extra one coming.
This is the last car for the night. This is also the first BMW that I ever collected. Now, version is not the first version, or not the first one I have. I have the ultra hot ones. That was my first one, and then I just clicked up the Blackwall, and now this one here again from that great night at Warshall's auction. Brian Barron for donating all the cars. Now, the cool thing about this 323 that I learned is these black ones, there is on the back, you can see it here. This does not have raised BMW on the back of it. My other two do. And I guess they did that only for a little bit. And that makes them, I wouldn't say like rare, but it makes it harder to get versions of those cars, is my understanding. So I now have the ultra hot, the Blackwall, and the chrome hot ones for this time frame for this car. So I was very happy to get that. Saving
cool.
No more parts. They're all put away nice and safe, and I haven't found one. And
I ripped the Chevelle.
In
case you weren't in here for this, this was my rip for this evening. It is a Green Machine 64 Chevelle SS.
Yeah. So
got to make sure I put that passenger side up so everybody can see it.
Yeah.
Passenger side.
So again, that's pretty much that's the show for this week, folks. Yeah, he's trying to create a cliffhanger. All right. We will be live next week. Have Brent in a new location, hopefully. Hopefully, I'll kick the boy off the Wi-Fi, off the network next week, too. And we'll have a recap of Lincoln and a guest. Is there anybody that you guys want to see? Anybody? You know, even if it's somebody that's been on before.
Yeah, shoot us a PM. You can post it on the page, comment here, you know, whatever you want to do. If you want to be on the show, all you got to do is ask. We will have anyone on. It doesn't matter if your collection is brand new with 30 cars in it, or if you have jumped down a rabbit hole so deep you don't know where the bottom of it is. Hulk Hogan. What up, Joe? I don't know.
Well, I want you. I want Joe on. That's who I
we need to
want.
get Joe on here. That'd be fun because I'd like to see some of more of that basement room of his. He's got some amazing stuff down there.
Yeah.
But the only Hulk Hogan I
on our
know would be.
right.
Hey, Super Mike,
Yes,
you're on
Mike.
this email chain too.
You're
so.
in with it too. So yeah,
you're in limbo land with us,
Joe. We'd love to have you in or have you on. Hulk Hogan. If you
the only Hulk Hogan
make
I know
that
would be
happen,
Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker's a good Hulk Hogan.
That's true. All right, everyone. You all have a good night. If we hear something, we'll make an announcement. But thank you all. Thanks for joining in. First show of the year. Nothing but
hope to see you this weekend in Lincoln if you can.
Yeah. Yes. We're out. Have a good night, guys.